So, I'm just going to be straight up honest. Before we get any further in this, I want to make this clear. I am not sponsored by Crunchry Roll. They don't even know I exist. I am legitimately talking about it because I think it's important. I wanted to say that because I saw Jonathan Moore's topic video on this the other day and how a lot of people disliked the video and were accusing of getting paid. I am not getting paid, and I will straight up say my issues with Crunchyroll before this video is over. But first up, I want to talk about the story. If you haven't heard already, you probably read the title of this video. Yugioh Vrains is now on Crunchyroll. For those of you who don't know, Crunchyroll is pretty much the main game in anime streaming right now. It's a service. You can watch previous episodes for free. The current episode of the week of anime, for the fee, it's like $6 or $7. Yu-Gi-Oh is now on there, and that is actually huge. Like, seriously, no one seems to really, or if they have, I just haven't heard, no one really seems to be realizing how big a deal this really is. It was first brought up to me by one of my commenters on last week's video. I do read every comment. And I was sort of not sure where to go with this. I actually just got Crunchyroll the other day because of this, so I'm still learning how the site works and what's good and bad about it. But to sum it up, Yu-Gi-Oh! Being on Crunchyroll is huge because Konami and 4K still has the license, or whatever version of 4Kids they technically count as. But basically, Konami putting Yu-Gi-Oh! On Crunchyroll sort of fixes a big problem, and that is that Konami, as we all know, keeps their head in the sand. They try to ignore anything that is against what is in their bubble of what is right or wrong when it comes to running their company. And one of them, especially with the anime, has been that really just kind of acknowledging the Japanese version exists. Like, for a long time, they kind of tried to make it sound like this was American made. They censored everything, cut out Japanese foods, any Japanese cultural references they could censor got censored. I know this sounds crazy to believe in a world where everyone knows the production history of everything, but there was a time where when we were kids, we didn't realize this was from Japan. Like, that was actually true. I didn't know this until, like, GX. But essentially, what a big part of this is that Konami, again, they make everything seem like it's theirs. So to acknowledge that the Japanese exists, and not only that, to put it on a private site that they do not directly deal with on a day-to-day basis is insane. Like, the thing is that Yu-Gi-Oh! Now airs on Nick. Well, Yu-Gi-Oh! Originally aired on WB, CW, whatever you want to call it. Well, 4Kids worked with CW all the time. They worked with Fox too, so they already had the existing deal. They work with Nick now. If you ever hear people from Viacom and 4K speak, they kind of have the same values. So to put it on a site that is very much, this is anime, this is for anime fans, and more importantly, this isn't going to appeal to a mass demographic. This was done for anime fans. This was done to show off Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains to the general anime community. That is huge. This is not being marketed to little kids. This might mean a huge paradigm change. Or maybe it just means a small little test and see where they can go with it. In which case, we as the community need to support it. Again, I am not sponsored by Crunchyroll. If you can't afford Crunchyroll, or if you really don't feel like paying for it, I totally get that. I didn't for years. But I want you to go on their site and watch the previous aired episodes. We need to show Konami that there is an interest in this, and that this is not a waste of time, that we want our Yu-Gi-Oh! The way it is supposed to be represented. And this is a damn good place to start, especially if we can get the general anime community backing us. Vrains, to my understanding, has been doing very well in Japan, and I think that is in no short part due to the fact that it has such a good pedigree of people working on it, including, well, like directors and composers. Like, that is very important, and I think that was a big motivator for Crunchyroll to make this deal, and we need to show that that deal was worth it. Now, if you can afford the paid service, and again, only if you can afford it. If it's like $6 or $7 for the basic package, which is what I got, just get, if you have the extra $6 or $7 lying around at the end of the month, then do it. Because again, it is important, and the paid service is really what Crunchyroll cares about. So that'll show them that it is worth it, especially because they have this cool function called a queue. I don't know if this is on other TV streaming sites. I actually am not very internet savvy. You can actually save any anime you want there. I literally just added Yu-Gi-Oh! Immediately. Like, if you add that, show that there's interest, show that there's a desire. That's what they need to see, and that's what we need to represent. Now, do I think Crunchyroll is a perfect site? No, not by any stretch. The 1080p, like, I'm not gonna lie, since I got the subscription the other day, I've kind of just been enjoying watching all my anime in high def with no annoying ads slowing the page down. So that's really cool. But again, I have the money for it because I obviously have to set aside part of my money for media because of what I do. If you don't have that money, I don't want to pressure you. Don't do it. But no, like another issue I have is there isn't any current dubs. Like, I've been watching My Hero Academia Season 2 in English, because I personally prefer the English, and I will continue using Kiss Anime to watch it in English. Also, another thing I find annoying is I think they only are going to air current stuff that they have the license for, or an agreement to air with Funimation or Aniplex or other dub studios, which means that I think we're going to start seeing a lot of anime get left behind. Like, Recreators is such a great anime right now, and a lot of people are loving it. It's not on Crunchyroll. And I checked, it's not licensed by anybody. Why? In part due to the fact that it's not part of a franchise. It's not based on a manga, or a light novel, or a game, or anything. It is pure original, which means that, well, it's not as marketable or profitable. And I don't want that to be the direction that this sort of goes in, because a lot of what attracted us all to anime was the fact that it was kind of its own thing. It wasn't part of the corporate machine and all that. Obviously, we all love anime merch, but you know, the thing that attracts people to anime is the difference in thinking and the ideas, and I don't want to see this whole become a huge marketing scheme, because then we're just right back where we were at the end of the 90s. But other than that, I really like the site. I think it's really cool, and I do like getting everything in the high def, especially because now that Vrains is having its main subs being done through professional means, I can really enjoy the beauty of the anime. But that was it. I really just thought this was important to address. Again, I'm not being paid by them, and if you really can't afford it, I don't care. Don't do it. But I want Yu-Gi-Oh! To get support in any way as possible, and if we can start telling Konami and everyone involved that this is what we want out of our Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's going to be better for all of us. And I think it really is. Give it a shot, do what you can, and what do you think about this? Do you think it is important? Because again, I personally feel that TV is a dying medium, and really making TV for kids is also becoming pointless, especially when your show was never meant for kids. So I think, again, everything is going to be streamed, and there will be no more channels sooner or later. And also, like, unfortunately, even though I like your free anime sites like GoGo Anime, Kiss Anime, I've noticed there are so many more ads on it nowadays, and a lot of that is the costs of getting everything, and getting the subs is becoming harder and harder, and that's only going to get worse. I'm sorry, guys. I really do like those sites, but it's this way things are going, and I don't know what we can, and there's no way to stop it, so we might as well try and curb things in the best scenario possible, and that is supporting Yu-Gi-Oh! And getting Yu-Gi-Oh! Hopefully in a better place in the anime world, which can start already. But again, what do you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on all this. What do you think about it? And as always, click to like and click to subscribe, and well, let's continue with Vrains.